You're now listening to the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. Straightforward, no nonsense business advice. Completely unfiltered. Grow your business. Grow your life. Now, here's your host, Brian Fullerton.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. It is your host, Brian Fullerton, here hanging with you guys, and good morning. Well, hope you guys are doing well. Happy Friday to all of you guys across the fruited plain. I am on whatever highway this is, I-79, headed west to northwest, all the way back to beautiful Michigan from beautiful Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Want to just give you a little debrief here. Headed back from SIMA 2024, which is the Snow and Ice Management Association, if I'm not mistaken, is the way they say it. Trade show and networking event, and really just had a great time here. Long story short, I didn't really announce that I'm coming out this way. I just wanted to personally just come on out here, do my own research, no fanfare, no companies reaching out, wanting to say hey or do videos. I just wanted to come as a civilian, just wanted to come as a guy looking to grow their snow business, looking to sit at some tables, round tables network, and just get to meet folks and not have anybody go, hey, are you that guy, Brian's Law Management from YouTube? You know, like, it's just, I love it. It's cool. It's great. I'm super appreciative and thankful. It's opened up tremendous doors. But at the same point, I just wanted to come as a normal person, because I am a normal person, and just learn more about snow. And I'll tell you guys what, so many of you guys have heard my projections, you know, if you will, for the next couple of years and what we'd like to get into and what I'm finding very enjoyable. And that is the topic of site management, commercial snow, industrial snow. I really love the guys like the Sour Snows and the East Coast facility guys and Glacier Snow and so many more, right? So many more great guys that are out there. Well, what I wanted to do is learn more. I definitely know that I need to invest more into my education for snow, especially if I want to take things to the next level, right? So I came out here to SIMA, paid my own way, nothing sponsored. I didn't pull any weight or anything like that, even if you say that we have it. I wasn't like, hey, I want a free badge. It wasn't anything like that. I paid the full way. It was about $500-$600 there, a couple $100 for a hotel tonight, a couple $100 gas, and some food there and back. So probably got about $1,000 into the trip. But I just thought I'd give you guys my thoughts, a little bit of a debrief, talk to you about some exciting, things that I learned from networking, maybe give you a little bit of a debrief on the companies and just some of their booths. Admittedly, it's a much smaller show. It's still a great size, don't get me wrong, but maybe if your measuring stick is a Quip Expo or something like that, it would definitely be, 1/20th, 1/30th the size of the show. So if you're looking to be overwhelmed, definitely not the show for you in that regard. But if you are looking to make friends, network, get to know some of the other great folks and some of the other big players in the industry, seems like it is the place to be and the place to go. I do believe SIMA is a traveling show. Don't hold me to that, but I know a couple years ago it was in Grand Rapids, Michigan, and I know it's been in a couple other locations. This year it just happens to be Pittsburgh, PA, which is really cool. So at the end of the day, don't just make plans like, hey, I'm going to go to Cleveland or Pittsburgh or wherever next time. There's no guarantee that that's where it's going to be. So anyway, make sure you guys stay attentive to that. If in case you guys want to go for 2025, you're lock down and find the right location wherever it's going to be. Some of these shows are starting to travel, like Elevate, if I'm not mistaken, and so you want to make sure you're in the right spot. So let me just go through a little bit of debrief here. Again, doing a little bit of a road show, driving on the way back. I've got about 45 minutes until I hit a restaurant. Shout out to Red Lobster. I'm a sucker for some popcorn shrimp, some crab legs, maybe a lobster tail. We'll see what's going on the menu tonight. Admittedly, I have not ate very much in the last 2 days, and I have not eaten a single thing today, and it's already 7 p.m. here, driving back real time from Pittsburgh. So doing that, and then hopefully eat dinner for half hour, 45 minutes, and then if I have any luck, hopefully I can find a streamed version of the debates between good old Trump and Biden tonight and listen to that real time as I'm driving home for the last hour and a half, 2 hours, which will actually be pretty exciting, pretty entertaining. I can only imagine if you guys listening to this on Friday morning how things went Thursday night. So however the debate goes is probably going to determine who's the next president of the United States. Frankly, you guys know I'm a pretty conservative person. Trump's my guy in that regard. But for the love of God, they're both ridiculous, and I'm not even going to get into it. So if this is the best that we keep coming up with, 80-year-old octogenarians, to run our country, and everybody in Congress, the 435 members of that, or whatever it is now, or always has been, I swear, if anybody wants to do a fresh slate and clean house, I am 100% with you. Fullerton, you should run for Senate. Maybe in the next 5 or 10 years, we'll look at that. But until then, I want to build a big lawn and snow business. Amen? So anyway, little side tangent there. Give me some latitude. You guys believe however you want to believe. That's my position, and I like it. I'm a very conservative person in that regard, and I just really do care about the future of this country, and I get more concerned every single day. But again, a whole nother podcast for a whole nother time. So let's take it back to the top. I'll give you guys a little debrief on the SIMA 2024. Realistically, the trade show does go, if I'm not mistaken, a good 2 or 3, maybe even 4 days. I believe Tuesday is a welcome reception. Wednesday was an all-day education day. Thursday was a what would you call it, a quarter day or third day of education. And then the trade show, I think, opened up, whatever it was, 10:45 or I think even 11:45. And then the first day of the trade show, aka Wednesday, was till 5 or 5:15. Seems to be like a big after party, a lot of after parties actually. And then I think you have a half day on Friday. So a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday show, if you will. Very similar to like a Quip Expo. One thing I will say is, again, it's definitely a smaller show, way more intimate. I think there's, somebody said like 18,000 snow professionals, and there's, 80 to 100,000 landscape professionals. Don't quote me on that. But definitely a thinning of the crowd, right? Especially top regionally, right? There's the Midwest, the Plain States, maybe up north, maybe Pacific Northwest, and then of course Canada. And snow is just something that regionally doesn't hit, half the continental United States. So that number thins out pretty quickly. It was really, really cool to have a smaller, intimate group. There's probably a couple thousand people here, which really gives you the opportunity to network, have more conversations. And to me, that was really the big takeaway. So I guess the first part, let's just go through my day. Headed out at the better part of 5 a.m. on Wednesday morning, straight shot at straight east to Pittsburgh. Got in at about, about 10:30, 11 o'clock-ish. Went to go check into the Westin Hotel. Hotel rooms were not available until 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon, which that was exciting. So unfortunately, did not get the shower that morning. I don't know if you guys can relate, but I get just greasy, being in the car or anytime you travel on an airplane. You got 4 or 5 hours of just kind of basking in your own sweat, not to be gross. And I'm a sweaty, oily face kind of a person. So like I love taking a shower and just rinsing off, for the love of God. Well, that wasn't in the cards, and that's fine. So was able to drop my bags off at the luggage carousel or whatever they call it. They were able to check that bag and just keep an eye on it until that later afternoon, evening. Actually, the first day went to a couple of the different classes. I'm going to do my best to remember which ones I got to visit and see. Because I did come in a little bit late, the seminars had already been started, and I did stop in first to I believe the Storm trade education class or tract or whatever you want to call it. And that was led by, I think, like Storm Industries or something like that. And they talked about basically the investment into liquid de-icing, costs, benefits, pros and cons, some setups, some pricing, and there's a really cool Q&A afterwards. So that was really cool to learn about liquid de-icing. From there, I think I went to one of the Breakthrough Academy guys. A lot of you guys have seen the BTA guys. Really enjoying the stuff that they're putting out. Got to meet some of those folks, part of the LMN quote-unquote network, if you will, with Mark Bradley's Mastermind series over winter. One of the guys had it was something about organizational development or something like that, and a couple other topics. So that was cool. Got to listen to that for about 45 minutes. How to give job descriptions and roles and accountability. It was actually some pretty cool stuff. So that was really helpful for anybody who has a budding organization. And then where did I go from there? I think, if I'm not mistaken, unless this was this morning, because it's kind of been a blur, but I went to how to evaluate the cost and the price and the value of a snow client. So basically, buying and selling accounts, acquiring customers, some really good data, some formulas there. There's a gentleman, and I forget his name, unfortunately, but you can tell he's been doing snowplowing for 20, 30 years. Great guy, older gentleman, but he was just a great, humble conversation, and maybe about 50 to 75 people in that room. And again, it was just learning about buying and selling accounts, how to prioritize your accounts, what's a good account, what is not a good account, just some really, really helpful nuance to the business. One thing I will say with the SIMA education, it was good. I don't feel like it was great. I'm just going to be honest with you. Again, I paid my own way, so I get to say whatever I want. By the way, we always say whatever we want, even if something is sponsored content. That is the rule with any of our content. We're going to give you the truth, because when you're putting your hard-earned money into it, I want to make sure you guys are getting what we say it is, and I want you guys to make sure that you always can trust anything we have to say with regards to a review or a suggestion. And I really do pride myself in that with our 8 years doing this whole social media thing. Fullerton, you only promote good stuff. Yeah, because we only promote good stuff, right? All the junk or the stuff that you don't need or it's a waste of time, newsflash, we don't promote it. And I'm not going to take the bag, because I'm not going to do that to you guys. I'm not going to do that to myself. There's no point, right? So I will say this, the education was good. I do feel like there has some opportunity to get better. I will say this, I am not volunteering, so not to be an armchair quarterback here. I just feel like I was looking for more details and more nuance. And if this ever gets back to SIMA, shout out to SIMA, love them, great people, nothing, no shade, of course. But I was definitely looking for more nuance, more details, more numbers, less beating around the bush. I feel like a lot of folks do share, in snow. But I'm more curious to know, like, some of the numbers. I feel like that's still a lot of people playing poker are keeping their cards close, and they're not sharing a little bit more than they could, or I wouldn't say should, because anything that anybody shares with you is obviously a gift and a blessing. So you're not entitled to anything. But, if you are paying for education, it'd be nice to have maybe just a little bit more meat and potatoes, something substantive, something that I could actually take back, whether it's numbers or a calculator, or maybe common mistakes, or if you guys are trying to grow, here's some landmines to look out for, some sweet spots in the middle. There was one of the gentlemen, I forget his name, forgive me, East Coast Facilities, and he did have a little bit of a on the main concourse on the trade show floor training and education, talking about numbers, and that was more impactful in 15, 20, 30 minutes than frankly some of the other tracks that were available. So I give the education a solid B. Again, I don't think it was bad. I do think it's been worth the investment. I asked a lot of other people, hey, what did you think about the training? What did you think about the education? And frankly, there was some really good feedback. So maybe what I'm looking for is not what you're looking for. And maybe what you're looking for is not what I'm looking for. I try to stay cognizant of that. But at the end of the day, I'm looking for the details and the numbers more than just the maybe the macro sometimes when it comes to running the business. But maybe that's just the phase I'm in. Maybe that's just the season I'm in. Maybe that's just what my brain is hardwired to look for. And again, maybe other folks that were into some of the other classes, that's exactly what they needed at the time. So really quickly, if you ever go, shout out to SIMA. Maybe we can get a code or something for all you guys next year, save some money. That would be pretty cool. But like I said, this year I just wanted to go and get the lay of the land on my own. What I will say, let's fast forward. That afternoon was really fun. Got to, I got to back up really quick. The first night, the first afternoon, the first day that I was there on Wednesday, we did this luncheon, and I got to sit next to some pretty exciting folks. Long story short, walking into this conference room, there's no less than 40 or 50 tables. There's definitely 500 people in this room, 1,000 people in this room, big room. And there's 50 tables. All of them have a different topic or theme, eight person round tables or whatever it was. And I was just basically getting my food walking in there, and there is nowhere to sit. In the back third of the room, there's no room to sit. There's no chairs. All the tables are packed out. People having conversations. I know nobody and I know nothing. So talk about being a fish out of water. As we went through the show, I was able to meet more friends and meet more people that I do know, and other folks that know me from YouTube, which was always cool. But my first couple of hours there, I know nobody. So I'm just trying to network and make friends. Well, there was a lady who came on the microphone, and she said, hey, there's a bunch of room up front and some empty tables. So I walked all the way up front and just literally sat down at a table. I didn't even know the tables had themes. and I sit down at the social media table. It's funny how that works, right? So anyway, while I'm there, there's a great guy, Silva Group or something like that, local gentleman out of Pittsburgh, super kind individual. Some other guys that had a company that procured all the contracts, for the Walmarts and the larger sites. Forget their name, Blue something. And then another guy next to me, Trevor maybe, or Tyler. I'm butchering it. His girl was named Carly, I think. But they were out of Canada. Super awesome dude. He was the type of guy that you hope you sit next to. This guy, medium-sized company, probably 2 to 4 million. He had 20 loaders. He knew everything about every John Deere, every case piece of equipment, everything that you can imagine, like hyper ADHD, just like myself. And I'm literally here just listening to this guy talk. It was awesome. And I was like, hey man, please tell me everything you know. I'm a blank slate. I'm impressionable. Here's where my business is at. Here's where I'm trying to go and grow. Obviously, we're talking nothing social media at this point. But it was really, really cool. And it's definitely a God thing, because when I go here, I'm just like, please somebody pour into me, give me some answers, like help me out. What can I, and I'm trying to give and, pour into it. I'm not trying to be a taker. But at the end of the day, I'm like, man, I want to learn something. Like, I don't want this just to be an expensive $1,000 trip to Pittsburgh. I could blow $1,000 a lot better ways and just, go somewhere and get nothing out of it, right? I'm sure you guys can relate. That's why I'm always like trying to deliver high value on our podcast or our conference. I just really want people to feel like they get the bang for their buck, right? So anyway, this guy was super cool. I did follow him back on Instagram. I took his info down on my phone, so I forget his name. I do apologize. I'm butchering it. But he's like, no, man, this would be the next best thing for you if you do this, or maybe a loader, consider this, stay away from that. And it really helped me to understand, frankly, what was being presented the next day at the trade show, right? Because he's like, you need to look at the John Deere 224P or the Case 321, the Arctic 13 or 14 footers, this, and this. And I'm thinking to myself, I have no freaking clue what you're talking about. And frankly, that night, just to fast forward, later that night, I went back to the hotel room and I was Googling and YouTubing everything that guy was talking about. I have been trying to soak it all in, soak it all up, and see like, hey, what skid steer makes sense? Tracks or wheels, this or that. A lot of Stanley Dirt Monkey videos pop up, but also a lot of, I don't say no name, but obviously people who aren't making YouTube channels or YouTube content. They're just loading up some random videos. So a lot of those videos are 4 years old, 8 years old, 12 years old. Obviously, there's another model or edition out for all those vehicles by now. So it's like, I try to do these winter tours because it just seems like the content for snow, again, it's lacking. You go from hundreds, if not thousands, to tens of thousands of people creating content for lawn and landscape. And then when it gets to snow, I wouldn't say it goes down to single digits, but it goes down to 1/20th, 1/50th, 1/100th of the amount of folks out there creating content. And with all due respect, of course, the content that's out there, is it sponsored or not? Is that person vested with that brand? Are they just doing a demo? How long have they had it? Like, you don't really even know those details or who those people are, who that guy is. And it's not bad. It's just, you don't know that person. There's no story. There's no connection. You don't know who they are. This guy's got 20 loaders. Well, how'd you get there? Are they all bought? Are they financed? Are they leased? Who are you? What are you doing? What's your story? Like, unfortunately, there's just not a lot of that with snow. So, candidly, I hope to go through the ringer and build a great company in front of you guys and with you guys and show you our story and what we acquire. And if I can ever help along the way, you guys know I'll be here for you in that regard. So, just long story short, super thankful for that gentleman. I literally at the end of the conversation, I said, hey, bro, I love you. Have you been ever tested for the TISM? And I'm not being funny, but at the same point, I'm like, he laughed, I laughed, because I've never met somebody with the same level of ADHD than myself. Okay, like, he would not stop talking, and I was going to not stop listening. And we were joking and having fun, cutting up, pitching and catching, making friends. And I'm like, oh my God, this was awesome. So let me go from there. That pretty much wrapped up the day. That was the luncheon. But again, got to just do a couple more education tracks. There was a rooftop party. It was cool. It was fun. I didn't really connect with anybody there. Actually, Actually, let me take that back. I did meet some guys that followed from Alaska. There was Matthew and another gentleman whose name is slipping my mind right now. I do apologize. Again, meeting dozens of people, it's always tough to remember everybody's name. But he was also from Alaska, 2 really cool dudes. And then I met a third guy that was also from Alaska. They had this like posse going on. It was actually pretty funny. But learned a lot about tractors, learned a lot about the rear-mounted snow blowers. And it was just, it was a wild conversation talking about nuance because, you see these guys in Canada or upper part of Alaska, and, they have entirely different setups, right? Like, there's no way back at home I could take a Kubota, an L4 or L6 series or whatever it is, the 640s or 460s or 4040s, I don't even know. The big one that Mitchell Gordy has, right? And add a snowblower to it, and then drive it around and go do 200 residential driveways or 500 residential driveways. Love the idea. Trust me, love the idea. I would go finance all that tomorrow. But it's just not a thing. Like, you can't do that where I live. You can't drive that stuff on the main road. You can't do that for a residential market. Just like the Glacier Snow guys. Saw Jeremy get into that in a minute. But just like the Glacier guys, they ride and drive their loaders up and down the highways and all across town. And I'm just thinking to myself, there's no way you're doing that back at home. It's just, I'm not saying it's illegal, right? Like, illegal is probably a strong word. But it's just not a thing. Like, you just don't do that. So people are like, why don't you have more of this or more of that? I'm like, dude, it's plow trucks and maybe loaders or skids on site. And or maybe if you have a good residential or a larger commercial industrial site, you might be able to park some of that there, but not like some of those guys are doing. And that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the big macro on what some of the big guys are doing for snow. But then again, I need to get lunch here again with my friend Troy Claw. I got to meet him again, get to say hey to Troy. Awesome conversation as always. And I said, Troy, I need you to help me personalize this all back at home. Would you ever be open to it? Of course, Troy says yes. I have no idea why. But again, I'm just trying to figure it all out. Like, you can look at the show and see all this big equipment and exciting conversation, but you got to dial it into your local market in a business model that, of course, works. And for the right clientele that want to work the business model you're putting together and vice versa as you partner up, right? So, again, a lot of words. That was Wednesday. I will say this. One of the cool parts of the day in the afternoon was getting to hang out with Ken Deemer, who is one of the co-founders, him and Pat Murray, with Local Roots. A lot of you guys saw them on the podcast and the shop tour series here just a couple of weeks ago. Awesome dudes. I'm not even going to, there's no way I can spend enough time talking about how cool that guy was. I got to meet him twice now, do dinner twice, or a lunch and a dinner. And when I came out to Pittsburgh, I said, Ken, I want to hang out with you. You're an awesome dude. And we had a good 2.5 hour dinner just at a local restaurant on the north side of Pittsburgh. And all we did was split chicken wings and french fries. I mean, it was it. But just a really cool dude. I'm asking him about how they're growing their company, what's working, what's not working. We're just talking shop, just getting to be friends, man. And I will just tell you, I'm not too old or too established or too well known because of social media to not go hang out with people, humble the ego, and ask questions. You're out of your freaking mind if you think that's the case. I cannot tell you how many questions I've asked while I've been here, getting to know these guys, talking snow, talking shop. And Ken Deemer was just, again, a classy dude that I was able to network with. One thing I will tell you, I'll let the cat out of the bag. Next week, we're likely going to be dropping tickets. Jeez, Pete's LAL tickets. Launchman Academy Live 2024. And last minute ad here, and I'm really glad I was able to connect with Ken, but I did invite Ken and Pat to speak this year at LAL. So they'll be our 6th or 7th speaker. We'll drop the whole speaker list next week and let you know when tickets go on sale and all that fun stuff. Look forward to that next week. I will tell you, masterclass tickets are likely going to sell out in a day. Hotel rooms, 50, 60 rooms at the Hyatt, that's going to sell out in a day. Nobody jump the gun, please. Don't call the hotel. Don't do anything like that. Nothing's available until we publish it, probably Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday next week. But when they are available, you will know. We'll blast it out on everything that we have. And again, last year our live conference had about 400 people there. I don't care if there's 200 people. I don't care if there's 500 people. Whoever's there, that's where we're going to serve, and it's going to be a banger. I've never put so much intentional thought into a conference than this year's event. I will tell you that honestly. And we were having a great conversation. After I got to hang out with Ken, went back to the hotel and got set up for the live stream for 9 p.m. for a link. And that was just an incredible, probably one of the best lives we've ever done with the group. Had a solid 25 to 30 people this week. It was so good. It was just such thick conversation, talking about pricing and bidding and knowing your numbers and so much more. And the last 15 minutes turned into talk about LAL and the master classes and all this stuff. And frankly, that was a lot of the folks that have been there before talking about it and promoting it. Not me. I'm not here to give a pitch. And I'm just telling you, folks, it's going to be a really, really good time. It's going to be a special time. I got a lot more I want to share about that, so we'll wrap that up for now. So that was Wednesday. That was a long day. Being on the road since better part of 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning when I woke up. 5 hours straight shot, nothing but education all day, learning, taking it in. Not jet lag, but what would you call it? Just road jet lag, from driving on over. Finally got to my hotel at 10 o'clock at night. Or 8 o'clock at night, checked in, I should say, did the live, and I was in bed. I was pooped, to be honest with you, about 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. The next morning, woke up, started sending a bunch of emails, working on a bunch of stuff for social, edited a YouTube video. Didn't take that long, and then we were headed back on over to the conference at 10:45. It was another example of education that was available. I was able to plug into a couple of classes. Again, I want to say I loved it, but I felt like it was pretty good, pretty mid, as the kids would say. But I feel like for the amount of talent that was there and the conversations and the presentations that were delivered, I do feel like I was, no shade to SIMA. I do feel like it was a little lacking, more to be desired. And again, I'm not volunteering. I'm not trying to criticize or anything. I'm just saying my personal experience there. With the talent that's in that room and some of the biggest players here in snow, perhaps they're just too big and they're just not interested in doing presentations, or they're old hat, and they don't want to do that. They just want to network and drink a beer. That's totally cool. But for somebody like myself who's exceedingly hungry and thirsty, for knowledge, I definitely felt like I was still lacking, that Thursday. But that being said, we did make some great conversations and have some great conversations. I did plug into a couple of those different classes, and frankly, I learned a lot from, and this is funny how it works, you learn sometimes more from the tables and sometimes the speakers, right? And not so much that it's any slate on the speakers, it's just you get to ask questions and nuance, right? When you're sitting at a table with 4 or 5 other folks. I had a really good conversation with a gal. She was based out of Denver, Colorado. Another gentleman that was in Calgary, I think it is, Canada. And then another gentleman, I think was Indiana. And we talked about a little bit of everything: pricing, overtime, sign-on bonuses, tenure bonuses, unemployment, dash cams, how they tier their bonus structure for guys that make a certain amount of snow events, different topping up of their hours. It was just really, really good stuff. I mean, frankly, conversation I'm not really experienced with or enthralled or invested in just yet, right? And I've heard a lot of this stuff, but snow is a different business. That's the bottom line of this podcast. Snow is a different business. People are like, I do lawn and then I do snow. Well, I got the truck. I might as well just add a plow. I'm telling you, it's a different business. It's a different mindset. It's you might use the same guys and the same trucks, but it's just it's an animal. It really is. It's an animal. It just, you can make $100,000, you can lose $100,000. You can make $1 million, you can lose $1 million. And that's the truth. So, again, the education was great. The networking opportunities, there's plenty of them. I feel like there was a healthy amount of break, a healthy amount of margin. That is something that we are going to incorporate a little bit more with LAL. We've had some great feedback. People just want more time to network, to talk, to make friends, and to talk shop, versus just overloading with so much information. I hear you loud and clear. I love that. I agree. And we're going to maybe drop it down a gear, maybe have one less speaker, but maybe a little bit more networking opportunities, broadly speaking. And then, of course, for Friday night at LAL. All right. So it's going to be really, really cool. Let me just take you guys through here, and I'll probably wrap this thing up. I don't want to make this too long of a dissertation, because if I make it any longer, why even bother going, right? You can just have me be your boots on the ground, weather report. So the industry report. All right. Thursday, after the conference opened up, it was just basically I centipeded, through the whole trade show floor. I don't know how big the trade show floor was, maybe a good 20,000 square feet. It was thick. There was probably, I don't know, a good 100, 200 booths, and all the big players were there. Everything from John Deere to Western, Boss, Byers, all the weather companies, all the salt brand companies, all the aftermarket companies, snow insurance companies, big booths, small booths, everything in between. New Holland, Hyundai, Case. My gosh, you name one, you got to name them all, right? Bobcat, Caterpillar, so many more, right? It was really, really cool. Again, seeing an entirely different business and the equipment to go with. And that is one thing that I will tell you is entirely different about a regional snow show and then also a Quip Expo. Let me break that down for just a quick second. Regional snow show, they just don't have the capacity or the size to fit all that big equipment in a regional snow show. They're not bringing a John Deere, whatever, 224, 344, 334, whatever they are, 333, right? Like, they're not bringing all that stuff into your regional snow show. They'll bring up like a skid steer, they'll bring a UTV, and they'll hook up a little Metal Plus plow, and that's it. Here, I would say, not that every SKU was on demo, but quite a few were. And that was a very exciting conversation because, again, it just revealed to me all the equipment that you see on Instagram and social media from some of these giant snow removal companies like Glacier and East Coast to quantifying it and saying, oh, okay, that's what that looks like. I thought that was bigger. Or, wow, that machine, the 9 Series, are absolutely gigantic. That is a rolling house on wheels. And they have a 34-foot sectional to go with it or whatever. So in that regard, it really helped me quantify the snow equipment, right? Which you just don't get that same opportunity again at a local show or a regional show. Another thing I was going to mention for just a quick second was
Ballard Products has what you need. If you're looking for one place to find all the gear you need, jump on Ballard-Inc.com. With over 30 years in the industry and now celebrating our 25th anniversary selling high-quality products, we've got your back. From mower gear, trailer racks, mower blades, safety gear, and so much more, you'll find everything you need to maximize your efforts and protect your gear in one place. And let's not forget about the carbide titanium gold blade options that cut amazing and last longer between sharpenings, giving you optimum performance in the field. We've got a bunch of new gear coming soon, so make sure that you're following Ballard to stay in the loop. Head over to Ballard-Inc.com today and get geared up. Now, go get after it. Ballard.
All right, and we are back. Shout out to the Ohio Turnpike. Happy to pay $4 if this is what the roads are going to look like. All right, really quickly, sorry about that little edit. One thing that is different from a Quip Expo, with all due respect to a Quip, is that you see like the broad picture of most of those brands, right? It's a lot about lawn, of course, a lot about landscaping, hardscaping, not so much snow. So as cool as John Deere has for tractors and mowers and maybe skid steers, you don't really see the other side of their portfolio. And again, their portfolio is 20 different categories, right? So forgive me. But I'm talking about the snow side. You're not going to see wheel loaders necessarily at a Quip Expo. You're not going to see all the snow equipment necessarily from some of the brands like you will here at SIMA. That's just my observation and my takeaway. So again, it's an entirely different show. And again, a little bit smaller, a little bit more intimate, but the equipment that was on display was exactly what I was hoping to see. So that was a solid A for all the booths, all the brands, and the SIMA folks. So that was pretty cool. I did get to go up and down and get to meet a lot of new people, a lot of new friends. One thing that was really cool is, again, in snow, it's a different world. So lawn and landscape, maybe our brand and us, myself even, are a little bit more quote unquote well-known. And I say that humbly because we're still nobodies and I'm just still learning and just making friends. But in snow, significantly less of a presence, and that's okay. And that goes with the territory. We're a smaller snow outfit, right? But it was cool not being known. So when I go up to a booth and I ask questions, they're asking questions about me versus, hey man, love the videos. Hey, love the content. We should do some sponsored content one day. And I'm like, yeah, you and everybody else, right? this was cool because I was able to ask questions about the product, the service. They were able to ask questions about me, see if I was a good candidate or a good fit. And it was just frankly, folks, it was such a refreshing conversation. Got to talk to some great guys about snow insurance, weather services. I'm not going to promote or talk about anybody specifically because I don't know them. I haven't used them just yet, right? But it was the national brands or the bigger brands, folks that you guys know and love and follow, and some of you guys already use. I'm always open-minded and impressionable, so if you guys have any folks like that from who's your snow weather service, or what camera systems are you guys using, or what's your favorite brand or wheel loader, again, shoot me some DMs. I'd love to hear what you guys are using. But again, had some great conversations, was able to network with quite a few people there. I will say, once the trade show opened up, and I was carrying the camera around and vlogging a little bit more, because I did want to shoot a YouTube video, so you guys will likely be able to see that on Friday, Saturday, if you guys want to check out the YouTube channel. It was cool getting to meet quite a few people. I probably got to meet 20, 30 people that, hey man, I love your videos. I watched a lot of those videos when I was just getting started, or hey man, I love watching the vlogs. Hey, congrats on the house. Congrats on the family. Man, I love your barn. Like, those were really, really kind conversations, and I really, really appreciated that. It's always funny when there's like a posse of 4 or 5 guys, and you have no idea who they are, and they like show love, and they're like, dude, we love your videos. And I'm like, I'm so grateful for that. Thank you. I don't know what to say. And then usually one guy in the group's like, you're on YouTube? And the other guy's like, dude, he's huge on YouTube. And it's always like, dude, I'm just another guy. That's always a fun, humbling conversation. So in one regard, we're a big deal. In the other regard, we're obviously not a big deal. And I don't read my own press clippings, so it's always fun. I'm like, yeah, we do some stuff with YouTube, but man, I'm telling you, this show is awesome. I'm learning and taking notes right now, man. So that is always a fun interaction. So a lot of words just to say, if you guys ever come up and say hey at the show, just know that you're making my day, because my personality type is, generally speaking, not one to go out and meet you. It's just not my personality type. I'm not usually a go out and make friends type. So to go even to an environment like this, I've gotten over it. I can handle my own, but to go out into an environment like this, just being candid and honest with you guys, I'm not usually the one like sticking my hand out, making friends. I have to actively engage and go out and do that. And maybe you guys aren't like that as well. And so maybe that gives you just some confidence to go, hey, if Fullerton's more of a wallflower too, then maybe if he can do it, I can do it. And absolutely you can go make friends. So let me just maybe fast forward, got to meet a lot of great folks on the floor, get to network with a couple of the different brands, some of the folks we have worked with in the past, some that I'd love to work with in the future, all the usual suspects, Western, Boss, Buyers, got to see the Snow Power guys, got to see the Hill Tip equipment in person. That was really cool. I've heard of them and saw them with Jeremy from Glacier Snow. Got to see Jeremy from Glacier Snow, by the way. Awesome dude, awesome individual. Christian from CNI. Some of his friends were there visiting as well. A lot of local guys from Pittsburgh. Some great friends. I got to meet Zach, that used to work at Sour Snow. He's now working at a company called Simco. So you guys remember him from the Shop Tour series. Matt from Clippers. Eric from Clippers and Plowright. Again, the Snow Power folks. Jennifer from Earthway, she's our contact there. A lot of you guys know we promote the Polar Tech shovels and the Earthway spreaders. Great people. So it was like, just, again, seeing familiar faces and building those friendships and networking. Got to see Troy Clogg. He introduced me to a gentleman who I totally forgot the name about, older gentleman, but he literally started SIMA like 30, 40 years ago, whatever it is. He is like the godfather of like snow and ice and all this mess. And I'm like, hey, I make YouTube videos. Thank you so much for putting this conference on 30 years later, so somebody like myself can come over here, learn, and maybe capture some good content to take back to my friends and my following, quote unquote, and get to pay that forward. Like this guy, talk about a ripple maker, right? To just say, we're going to make a trade show, we're going to make it happen, and 30, 40 years later, I'm the beneficiary of that. I absolutely love and respect folks like that. He was a jokester too, of course. He was like, I'm just another guy. He goes, I just want to go get a beer, and that seems to be the MO here. A lot of drinking, a lot of networking, a lot of talking, and a lot of BSing with a lot of guys. It was really cool. That being said, I'm trying to think where else I can go from there. Frankly, got out of the show about 5:30, cleaned out 30, 40 DMs, a lot of great conversations, folks back and forth that I got to meet there, make friends, follow people back, clean out 30, 40 missed text messages. The guys were holding the fort down at home. Always shout out to the home front, the guys. They were able to wrap up the route. Tomorrow morning, I get to meet with Dustin from Troy Clogg's team about landscaping and the front landscape of our house. So that'll be a really cool conversation. Just a good time, folks. Just a good time. Good week, good couple of days. But I am done. I'm spent. I'm exhausted. And I cannot wait to see my wife and kids. I will tell you, if you guys are young, build the biggest, baddest, burliest, financially healthy company you guys can. Because there will be a time when you have a wife and kids and you will 100% miss them. You love them. You cannot wait to get home and just cuddle and tickle your kids and play with them. And frankly, I wasn't even a big kid type person until Liz and I started having kids. We always knew we wanted them, but I didn't know if I would be a good dad or a good father or really, dig the kid thing. We weren't anti-kid. I just didn't know if I would be a good dad or a good father. But I will tell you what, frankly, I couldn't care less about the time, the equipment, the networking, all this mess, if it wasn't for the family that you get to come back home to. Because this is why we're going out and about. This is why we're paying dues. This is why I want to grow a bigger company. And to just be able to give those guys, both my wife and kids, and our future kids, hopefully, all the blessings that I can, and just provide for them, right? And build hopefully a successful business and give my guys opportunity and all that fun stuff, right? So it was just a really cool time. But I'll tell you what, I'm excited to get home. I'm going to stop for dinner. Going to hopefully stream the debates, watch a couple idiots argue. And that's mostly Trump, Biden, and the moderators. And anyway, it's going to be a fun time. So hopefully we'll watch that celebrity death match live. And then should be hopefully home by midnight, 1, 2. And then tomorrow morning, just, again, back off to the races, doing a whole bunch of stuff. And hopefully bringing the SIMA content to you guys. So that's what I got. I really hope this audio turned out well. I hope the road show and the background noise wasn't too bad. If you guys, appreciate any of this, shoot me a DM, let me know. I always try to give my best and just pour this all out to you guys. And so that's my dissertation, and that's my 48 hours at SIMA. Great folks, great people, well-ran event. Didn't see anything that was off or could really improve other than maybe a little bit of the education, but workflow-wise, badges, registration, the venue, the facility, the location, everything was a very, very classy time. If you guys, again, I'm just trying to help you guys out along the way, but in the future, if anybody wants to go to SIMA next year, let me know. Shoot me some messages. Perhaps I can screenshot those and share those with some of the SIMA folks. Maybe we can get a code, save you guys some money. $10, $25, $50, $100, who knows? It goes a long way. And again, not trying to organize anything specifically, but if you guys are looking to get more into snow, I do think this was a good show for myself, and I believe it would be a good show for a lot of you guys, especially if you're aspiring to grow. And let's breathe some life into this thing and check it out. So that's what I got for you guys. All right, over now. You guys have a beautiful day. If you need anything, shoot me an email, brianslawmaintenance2007@gmail.com, Instagram @brianslawmaintenance. Who else has 250,000 people following that gives out their email and their Instagram and says, I answer your DMs back within 24 hours or less? You let me know. I'm always here for you guys. I mean that. I don't care how big the content gets. I don't care how much money we make. I do not forget where we came from. We've been blessed with a little bit more lately, and I just want to make sure that I'm pouring that back out to you guys. All right. Love ya. Appreciate ya. Have a great week. Shout out to my weekend warriors that are getting laced up, getting ready to rock and roll. And I hope you guys have a great weekend and get all your lawns cut as well. Shout out to Red Lobster, by the way. Those cheddar biscuits, man, they'll get ya. They'll get ya. All right, guys, over and out. Have a great rest of the day.
Did you know that Ballard Innovative Products is celebrating its 25th year, bringing you the best gear for the lawn and landscape professional, weekend warrior, or home and garden enthusiast? From mower gear, safety gear, trailer racks, equipment securement, equipment servicing tools, chute blockers, mower blades, aluminum baggers, cleaning products, snow removal tools, and much more to make you efficient, effective, safe, and profitable in the field. Be sure to check out the Ballard-Inc. FullertonAcademy.com website to help dominate and elevate your business this season. With over 30 years in the green industry, we're sure that we've got something you can't live without. Our website search by more function now makes it easier than ever. New gear is being added all the time. Stay safe and keep grinding. Ballard. Before you turn off the podcast, there are two things that we believe you will be highly interested in. First, if you're looking to stay up to date with the latest trends and insights in the world of lawn care, then you'll want to subscribe to our free email newsletter. It shows up in your inbox 3 times a week and includes a Monday motivational to kick off your week, a Wednesday what's new to keep you informed, and a Friday weekly recap of all the content we put out. The second thing is we have just launched Lawntrepreneur Academy Link. Now you can be a part of an exclusive community that links you to those who can help you grow in your lawn care business. Joining Lawntrepreneur Link will give you the tools that you need to stay accountable, get real-time expert advice, and find belonging in a community of folks who are passionate about the lawn care industry just like you. Visit LawnTrepreneurAcademy.com to learn how Link membership gives you unique access to monthly hangouts, bidding hour calls, coaching calls, expert lessons, and more. Stay ahead of the curve and level up your business with a membership to the Lawntrepreneur Academy Link. Find an easy-to-use link in the podcast description.
Thanks for taking the time to listen to the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast with Brian Fullerton. We hope you enjoyed this production. If so, please consider leaving us a 5-star review for the show. While the techniques and ideas presented here are designed to help you grow a more successful and profitable business, no one can guarantee these results for you. We want to emphasize that entrepreneurship is not easy, and the ideas presented here are just the opinions of Brian Fullerton and his respective guests. No one can guarantee success for you. That being said, we hope the ideas presented here help you and motivate you to go on out there and crush it with your own business.
Fullerton Unfiltered Podcast.
Thanks for listening, and we hope to see you on the next episode.
This has been a Brian Fullerton and Mr. Producer production.